Hey guys, AJ here, back on another one. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. And so we're going to look at the news, right? And I was looking at a couple of the TCAP threads on Reddit because they're awesome. And, anyone that's a sub of mine, if you've posted stuff on Reddit, thank you for contributing to all of the TCAPness that's out there. But there was two or three threads that didn't go very far, and there's people asking why they didn't catch a lot of female predators. And guys, there are female.
Let's start by talking about some of the.
There are female predators out there. There are, and I honestly believe that there's a rising amount that's happening more and more because you see these teachers who are preying on the students more and more. But from what I understand, men can prey on people they don't know, and women usually prey on those they do know. So the neighborhood boy, like the paper boy or girl, or a student, or a family member, right? So that's why they don't get caught up in these types of stings. But here's a report on teachers and students. Well, so let's just jump into this now.
Recent cases in the news, like the case of Monica Sanchez, a 21-year-old teacher's aide in Kilgore, Texas. Sanchez was arrested last month after admitting to having sex with three different students. She told police that she'd had sex with one 18-year-old boy 5 or 6 times last winter. Sanchez also admitted to encounters with another 18-year-old in March and a third student last summer who was just 15 years old at the time of the incident. Now, you might be wondering about the scars you see here in Sanchez's mugshot. According to the arrest affidavit, Sanchez hit a woman in the face during an unrelated incident in a restaurant parking lot. While conducting interviews following the incident, police became aware of the allegations against the teacher's aide and began to investigate. After being confronted with the accusations, Sanchez admitted to the encounters with the 3 boys. Sanchez was immediately fired, and as a result of a state law signed by Governor Greg Abbott back in 2017, which increased penalties for educators who commit these types of assaults, she potentially faces as much as 20 years on each of 3 counts of improper relationship between educator and student.
20 years. So that's what, 60 years? Yikes.
Governor Abbott's called teachers assaulting students a, quote, statewide plague in Texas. The law not only calls for heavy punishments for the teachers, it also calls for jail time for any Texas school administrator who turns a blind eye toward these incidents. Texas, not the only state where this keeps happening. Florida has had a pair of high-profile teacher sex misconduct cases over the past month.
And these are the ones that are getting caught, But it seems like every other day now there's a report of a female teacher sleeping with their students. Crazy.
Including Julie Kinsey Hoover, a 38-year-old math teacher at a private Christian school in Perry, Florida, arrested last week in connection with lewd text messages she allegedly exchanged with one of her male students. Hoover and the student allegedly traded sexts over a period of 2 months in March and April. At the time, the student was enrolled in multiple classes with Hoover. According to the arrest affidavit, the student's mother contacted the sheriff's department in early June after discovering the messages. The mother told authorities that Hoover was making arrangements to sneak the student into her home while her husband was at work.
Oh, man, gotta sneak the kid over to her house while her husband. So this woman's married, man, and good on the kid's mom for actually acting on, and calling the cops,
Teacher's been charged on 1 count of an authority figure soliciting or engaging in sex with a student and is facing up to 15 years behind bars.
Man.
Then there's Pennsylvania music teacher Olivia Ortz, who was arrested for her alleged sexual relationship with a female student. 26-year-old teacher was charged on May 13th with institutional sex assault, unlawful contact with a minor, criminal use of a communication facility. She remained at large for several days before authorities eventually tracked her down. Now, New Wilmington Police Chief Carmen Picarillo told us how his department learned that Ortz was actually performing at a chorus concert while allegedly evading law enforcement.
What?
Didn't know where she was Friday night after the charges were filed, and we weren't certain where she was on Saturday. And it was only inadvertently that we learned that she was at a choral concert in a municipality next door to where she was living on Sunday afternoon. One of the local newspaper reporters, not as a part of an assignment, but just something she had done on her own, had gone to the choral concert and discovered her name was on the program.
Now, authorities actually learned of the relationship after Ortz's husband, a contract employee with the school district, reached out to the principal when he found evidence on an iPad. The police's month-long investigation uncovered texts and love letters between the two. The pair had also communicated through numerous social media channels, including the music app Spotify. They even came up with a code word, fried rice, in the event either thought anyone was onto them. According to authorities...
Fried rice? What? What is going on? This is crazy.
Ortz continued to contact the student even after she learned of the investigation. Eventually, the student admitted to the relationship, telling police she'd stayed at Ortz's house multiple nights while her husband was out of town. Now, as in many of these incidents, one of the hard parts for authorities is actually keeping the student and the teacher apart after they learn of the relationship. Chief Piccirillo talked about how his department planned to address that concern in the Ortz case.
Charges have been filed. Olivia Ortz, the defendant, is out on bond. There's a no contact order in effect to hopefully prevent the two of them from communicating any further. And then we see what happens in court.
So they have the same problem with Mary Kay Letourneau. You guys remember her? She was the woman from Washington State. I think I was in college when that whole thing went down. Or maybe just graduated high school, because it was like I graduated in 99. So I think it was like 99 or 2000. And yeah, she would go to jail and get out of jail, see the kid again, go to jail, get out. Then she got pregnant. So it was crazy. So this does happen where they have to keep them apart after the assault happens. That's crazy.
Then there's Jasper County, Missouri, home to two recent bizarre female teacher male student incidents. J.C. Bain Collins, a 22-year-old substitute teacher, was arrested a few months back for sexual contact with a student. Authorities say Collins went to the student's house when his parents weren't there and had sex with him.
What?
To continue to communicate for months via text and social media before the student eventually told authorities about the relationship. Collins has been charged with a Class E felony, which could result in a maximum of 4 years.
What?
But that's 4 years more than another Jasper County teacher is eligible for in a bizarre case after charges were dropped against her. Jasper County prosecutors abandoned the case against 26-year-old Bailey Turner earlier this year. Turner, an English teacher, was accused of having sex with one of her male students back in 2019. But the reason the county dropped the charges? Turner and the student got married.
What? They got married? No way.
Prosecutors said the marriage made the case impossible to prove, as the student was able to invoke spousal privilege to avoid testifying. So Turner is now free from prosecution.
Guys, let's wrap our heads around that. So she molests one of her students. And then in whatever state she lives in, they got married. And now she's free to go. That's crazy. I know that Mary Kay Letourneau married her student, but this is after she had done some prison time. This woman is going to be free and clear and is walking around the day. That is crazy.
What they will do for love. Thank you for watching.
So guys, I think that there's another case where a woman only got 60 days for abusing one of her students. I'll try and find that particular case. But yeah, so back in the TCAP days, I don't think that this was I don't know, either that common or where people knew where to look, because the whole Mary Kay Letourneau case was big, but everyone thought that it was a one-off thing. But this is happening more and more where there are female predators out there doing their thing, and it seems like a lot of them are in the school system. So let me know who you guys think. You know, drop a comment and quick story time. Actually, guys, before I go, in college, I knew a girl. She was 20, and she was at a party and met this kid that was 15. He was 15. It's crazy because at the time, it didn't even occur to me. She was dating this kid. He was 15, and she was 20. She got pregnant by him. And then not only did she not go to jail, she took the kid to court for child support, and then the kid's parents had to pay child support when she, you know, that's statutory. So technically, the girl that assaulted their son, they had to pay child support to her too. And this is in Washington State. And it wasn't until about 10, 15 years later that I realized, wait a minute, something's wrong here. So, guys, if you have any similar experiences, drop something in the comments. You guys like, subscribe. Yeah. We'll be back to regular TCAP stuff here soon. All right, you guys, this is AJ. I'm out of here.